Have you ever found yourself craving a certain fast food meal out of nowhere, only to realize later that you had seen an ad for it earlier in the day? Or maybe you find yourself humming a jingle from a commercial you didn't even think you noticed. That's not a coincidence. It's brainwashing, but not in the sci-fi sense. This is real psychological manipulation, and it's everywhere in modern advertising. Welcome back to Nexreal, the channel where we uncover the hidden truths about how your brain works and how it's being influenced every day. In previous videos, we explored how your brain lies to you, how false memories are created, and the power of subliminal messages. Today, we're diving even deeper into how advertising uses brainwashing tactics to shape your decisions without you realizing it. Let's start with the basics. When we say brainwashing in advertising, we're not talking about someone strapping you to a chair and forcing you to watch commercials on loop. It's much more subtle, and that's what makes it so effective. One of the most powerful tools advertisers use is repetition. Repetition increases familiarity. Familiarity breeds trust, and trust influences buying decisions. You might think you're making a rational choice when buying a product, but studies show that the more often you're exposed to a brand, even passively, the more likely you are to choose it. This technique works so well because of something called the mere exposure effect, a psychological phenomenon where people tend to develop a preference for things merely because they are familiar with them. Advertisers use this by showing you the same logo, jingle, or slogan repeatedly until it feels like a natural part of your environment. And once it feels natural, your brain stops questioning it. Then there's emotional manipulation. Advertisers carefully design messages to target your emotions: joy, fear, nostalgia, even insecurity. Think about insurance commercials that show families reunited after disasters, or tech ads that promise you'll never miss a moment with loved ones. These aren't just selling products, they're selling feelings. And once you associate a positive emotion with a brand, your brain wires that connection in. Color psychology is another sneaky tactic. Red stimulates hunger, which is why so many fast food chains use it. Blue suggests trust and security, popular in banks and tech companies. Green is associated with health and nature. Every design choice you see in an ad has a psychological intention behind it. Even font styles and background music are chosen to influence your subconscious. Upbeat tempos increase excitement, slow, melodic tunes suggest calm and trust. And let's not forget celebrity endorsements. When a celebrity you admire uses a product, your brain activates a mechanism known as the halo effect, where your positive feelings toward the person extend to the product. Logically, we know that a singer wearing a brand of sneakers doesn't make them better, but emotionally, our brains disagree. Our critical thinking switches off when admiration takes over. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. Advertisers also exploit cognitive biases, mental shortcuts your brain uses to process information quickly. One of the most exploited biases is the scarcity effect. When something seems limited, we perceive it as more valuable. Think of phrases like limited time offer or only 3 left in stock. That's not always true, it's psychological pressure. They also take advantage of social proof. You're more likely to buy something if it has thousands of positive reviews or is labeled bestseller. Our brains interpret this as a shortcut to safety. If everyone else likes it, it must be good. And now, advertising is becoming even more advanced and invasive. With the rise of data-driven marketing, ads are now personalized using your browsing habits, location, and even voice data. Ever talk about something and then see an ad for it? That's not a coincidence. It's algorithmic targeting, and it's a form of modern surveillance that feeds right into manipulation. If you're finding this eye-opening, be sure to like the video, subscribe to Nexreal, and tap the bell icon so you never miss out on our weekly mind-expanding content. Your support helps us keep uncovering the secrets behind everyday phenomena. Let's go deeper. One of the most controversial aspects of advertising is the use of subliminal messaging. These are signals that are designed to pass below the threshold of conscious perception. For example, flashing words or images for milliseconds in a video that your eyes don't consciously register, but your brain does. Studies have debated their effectiveness, but one thing is certain: advertisers believe in them enough to try, and that speaks volumes. There's also the manipulation of children's brains. Kids are particularly vulnerable to advertising because they haven't developed the critical thinking skills needed to analyze or resist persuasive messages. This is why children's programming is often flooded with ads for toys, snacks, and sugar-heavy cereals, designed to build brand loyalty early and embed emotional responses before skepticism sets in. And it doesn't stop with commercials. Product placement is another brainwashing technique that's hiding in plain sight. When your favorite movie character drinks a certain soda or uses a specific smartphone, that's not random. It's paid influence. It's designed to normalize the product and associate it with aspirational lifestyles, all while bypassing your defenses because it doesn't feel like an ad. What's worse is that this manipulation is often disguised as entertainment. Influencers promoting products on social media may not even disclose that they're being paid. You might trust them as authentic, but often they're just another arm of the advertising machine. Then there's neuromarketing, the use of brain scans and psychological testing to determine which ads are most neurologically stimulating. Companies are literally studying brain activity to craft ads that maximize emotional impact and decision-making influence. This isn't speculation, it's science, and it's already in practice. Another subtle tactic is anchoring. This is when your brain uses the first piece of information it receives as a reference point for all future decisions. For example, if an item is listed as normally $199, now only $79, your brain compares it to the higher price, even if $79 was the real value all along. You feel like you're getting a deal even when you're not. So what can you do to fight back? The first step is awareness. When you recognize these techniques, you can start to pause and question your reactions. Are you really hungry? Or did that red logo just trigger your appetite? Do you really trust the product, or has familiarity fooled your brain? Secondly, use ad blockers where appropriate. Be intentional with your media consumption. Don't scroll passively, and teach younger audiences to recognize when they're being targeted. Third, practice mindfulness. Before buying, ask yourself, is this something I truly need, or am I responding to emotional manipulation? The more conscious your decisions are, the less control these tactics will have. Advertising isn't inherently evil. It can inform, entertain, and even inspire. But when it becomes manipulative, when it taps into our subconscious and rewires our behaviors without consent, it becomes a form of psychological control, a quiet, constant brainwashing that we mistake for choice. The next time you see an ad, don't just watch it. Analyze it. Ask yourself why it was made that way and what it wants from you. Because once you start seeing the manipulation, you can't unsee it. Thanks for watching Nexreal. If this video challenged your thinking, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss our next episode. And if you want to dig even deeper, check out our previous videos on subliminal messaging, how your brain lies to you, and false memory creation. They all tie into today's topic in surprising ways. Until next time, keep questioning everything.